Hello and welcome to National Focus. I am Shakira Pear. In the headlines, Lubia to Bagatelle Road to receive facelift in the 2021-2022 fiscal year, and Dominica one step closer to becoming dynamic Dominica with construction of the international airport. Details of the headline stories and more when we return. Welcome back. Residents of the south of the island will soon be able to enjoy easier access to their homes as the rehabilitation of the Lubia to Bagatelle Road is carried for this fiscal year. This road is financed by a grant from the government of the United Kingdom and the government of Dominica.
A first set of designs was completed in calendar year 2020. However, the cost of rehabilitation based on these designs far exceeded the grant, and the road had to be redesigned and broken up into phases. The geotechnical investigations are ongoing for the project from Lubia to Granby, and advertisements for pre-qualification of contractors have been published. We are aware of the major vulnerability along this road. We are very concerned that it has not yet started. Notwithstanding our best efforts to accelerate this project, we have encountered several challenges, many beyond the control of this government. We thank the residents of the South for their patience and support as we look forward to the commencement of this project no later than the fourth quarter of this fiscal year.
Member of Parliament for the Granby constituency, Honorable Edward Regis, says the announcement for the commencement of this road brought joy to his heart, as this has been one of the most anticipated projects for residents of the south of the island.
Because the Lubia to Bagatelle Road, better known as the Granby Road, Mr. Speaker, that road is finally coming to fruition, and I want my people to take note that the Lubia to Bagatelle Road, really the Granby Road, is in the budget. It's right there on page 23. Those who keep asking, what about the Mitcham Bridge? Every day,
Yes,
yes. Don't you recognize the condition of the road? You understand? I get that question every day. It is right there. Mila, look it there. Right there in the budget. And I am so excited that some effort will be made to address the condition of this road, Mr. Speaker. It is right there. I mean, it gladdened my heart.
Honorable Regis says this road has always been a priority for government, but after the passage of Tropical Storm Erica in 2015 and Hurricane Maria in 2017, redesigning had to be done.
You know what happened after Erica? Funds were made available from the United Kingdom, and then Maria came, and so the designs for the road had to be revisited, and it means that we would require more funding. That is why the road hasn't started, and the government of Dominica is committing itself to provide additional funds so that this road could get going. And yes, Pierre Charles of great memory spoke about the Mitcham Bridge. John Fabian of great memory spoke about it. My predecessor, Honorable Justina Riviere, spoke about it. But today, the Mitcham Bridge is coming, Mr. Speaker. It is coming.
Honorable Regis called on all contractors in that area to position themselves to take advantage of the employment opportunities to be derived from this major project.
See an enlargement of the road, and what I want to say, Mr. Speaker, to our contractors, get ready, position yourself to get jobs on that road when it's coming. Don't stand by and say, Pal Rep, I want a job. Position yourself to get engaged on that road, because there are millions of dollars that are going to be funded. And you too, Sister Shakira, you too, Parsec, in the Ministry of Tourism, because it is known as the Loubier to Bagatelle Road, but I'll tell you it is better known as the Grand Bay Road.
Transformation of the blue economy is in full effect in the Soufriere constituency. Alia Martin has more in this report.
Transformation of the blue economy is in full effect in the Soufriere constituency. A new Soufriere berthing jetty was commissioned on Friday, August 6, 2021, despite the challenges Dominica is currently facing with a growing cluster of COVID-19 cases. This project made provisions for the docking of vessels up to 50 feet long for emergency situations, and small fishing boats commonly used in the area were also catered for. This will allow for easy offloading of fish catch and use of residents' normal day-to-day activities. Solar lamps for night landing and a water supply line were also key components of this project. Parliamentary representative for the Soufriere constituency, Honorable Dennis Charles, is grateful for the fruition of this project. She says the completion of the berthing jetty is a historic moment for the people of her constituency.
Today we are able to have a brand new, resilient jetty in the Soufriere constituency, which I know will last for many, many years. It's unfortunate, given the challenges, that the entire constituency could not be present for this moment, because I know it means a lot to every constituent, whether you're from Galio, Scotshead or Soufriere. We know how it is after a major disaster. Prime example, Hurricane Maria. The villages of Soufriere, Scotshead and Galio were cut off from the rest of the country, and we had to traverse to Roseau by sea. We also had to bring in supplies to constituents, and it was a bit challenging because we didn't have a jetty, so the boat couldn't come on shore. So people had to line up all in the water to hand over the supplies so we could get to the rest of the constituents.
Minister Charles says the jetty will serve to benefit the constituency in times of disaster. She says the over $1 million spent for this project is well worth it.
We don't have a large crowd gathered today, given the situation in the pandemic, and health and safety remains a priority for this government. But I can tell you, if you look at the hearts of my people, these hearts will be smiling, and they'll be very thankful and grateful to CATS and GIS and the government for partnering to bring this very, very important project to the Soufriere constituency. We finally have our resilient jetty.
Meantime, Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit called on residents of the Soufriere constituency to make use of the jetty and find ways to generate economic growth in the communities.
The people here in Soufriere Scott said, we don't have to come to tell them what they have to do. They're resourceful people, they're people of industry, and they know how to make things happen and how to make turn things into economic opportunities. They're hardworking people, very respectful people, very hospitable people, and I'm sure they'll take advantage of this. And so I'm very happy to be here. Finally, we're here, but you know, the journey was long, but we have to appreciate the end result.
Minister for the Blue and Green Economy, Agriculture and National Food Security, Honorable Fidel Grant, believes the addition of the jetty in the community will assist in improving the livelihoods of residents.
The ministry continues to engage various partners for the development of the blue economy, and we are quite cognizant that the marine communities like yours, most families are dependent on the opportunities and activities in the blue economy. We therefore aim not only to develop the communities, but to improve the sustainability of livelihoods for the fisherfolk and the larger community. I urge not only the fisherfolk, but the wider community to strive hard to revive the fish night, Kone Konla. This is an excellent tourism product and an economic stimulant to the community and the country.
Acting Chief Fisheries Officer in the Ministry of Blue and Green Economy, Agriculture and National Food Security, Mr. Julian Defoe, says whilst the Soufriere constituency is known for its fisheries component, the ministry has a broader vision for the blue economy.
Fishing is just one component. This area is known to be significantly engaged in water sport activities, diving, which is scuba, snorkeling, kayaking, and in recent times we have had deep diving competitions and tournaments. So all of this is in addition to fishing, and not forgetting famously, because of the area is deep, we do have boats doing even whale watching and dolphin watching in this area. So this jetty will serve a multitude of purposes, the fishers, water sport operators, vessels, and as most importantly, we all know of the vulnerability of the Soufriere Scotland area in terms of its vulnerability to extreme weather conditions. The sea, you can see, is very close to the coast. And also, in addition, we have the threats of the volcano. While it is maybe dormant now, but this is an existing threat. So it will also serve as an area to facilitate evacuation if the need arise.
Mr. Defoe says the Soufriere berthing jetty has greater national significance as the development of Dominica is currently being guided under the Climate Resilience Recovery Plan.
2 out of the 6 key results areas this jetty directly touches on, which is number 1, building strong communities, making them resilient to extreme weather conditions, and I think number 3, which looks at resilient infrastructure. And also I mentioned that there are a number of targets in the CRRP, and for significantly, again, number 2 is a significant one, and number 10 speaks to about economic generation, and this area is known for a lot of economic activities and for us to sustain at least 5% growth in the next 10 years.
Representative for the German Corporation for International Cooperation, GIS, Mr. Volker Hamann, says he is happy to witness the commissioning of the berthing jetty project. He says the process commenced a few years ago on request by the government of Dominica following the passage of Hurricane Maria in 2017.
It was noted that evacuation of the population could only be done through helicopters. Also, food and other important things could only be delivered through helicopters to Soufriere. So a jetty would improve that situation significantly for evacuation and provision of goods in case of emergencies. So this is then when the process started. It was actually a participatory process. So GIS consulted with all the population of Soufriere, all the stakeholders, on how the jetty should be designed. And this is then what we have today.
Project Manager of Civil Offshore and Marine Incorporated, Mr. Joseph Flosak, says the project was delivered in a timely manner.
We had very good cooperation from the consultants, the people of the community. We're also pleased that about 50% of the workforce or the skilled labor was from this community. So in all, we're very, very happy that this project has turned out to be, I think it will speak for itself, and that we're very happy that we have a quality product, all locally built for our people. So we're very grateful to be part of this project.
The youth of the Soufriere constituency were also cited, showing their appreciation for this project. The berthing jetty is the largest single investment on the German Corporation for International Cooperation, Caribbean Aqua Terrestrial Solutions (GIS) implemented programs. This project will transform the lives of the people of the Soufriere constituency as well as the blue economy in Dominica. Alia Martin for the Government Information Service.
Thank you, Alia, for that report. Dominica is one step closer to dynamic Dominica with the construction of its international airport. Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for telecommunications and broadcasting, Honorable Oscar George, says all stand to benefit from the construction of the international airport. The Government of Dominica and Montreal Management Consultants Establishment, MMCE, signed an agreement for the construction of the international airport on June 9. In the 2021-2022 budget, $75 million has been allocated for this major project, which will transform Dominica's economy.
I mentioned the words enhance opportunities earlier, and these words are very fitting when one thinks of the construction of our international airport, the largest construction project to commence in the history of Dominica, a project that will see the creation of opportunities not only for the residents of Wesley, but also for persons in neighboring communities and all communities for that matter in Dominica. And Mr. Speaker, this international airport has been long awaited. And I say long awaited because it has been documented that in order for a country to benefit or to maximize the gains from an international airport, the corresponding structures and systems has to be in place to achieve that optimum returns. And Mr. Speaker, I refer to stuff like excellent road infrastructure, high standard accommodation, top quality healthcare facilities, a thriving private sector.
Minister George spoke of the direct and indirect positive impact which will be derived from this major project.
Just imagine a Dominica that fully benefits from all the direct impacts from an international airport, such as airline and airport operations, aircraft maintenance, air traffic control and regulation, and activities directly serving air passengers, such as check-in, baggage handling, on-site retail and catering facilities. Also the indirect impacts, Mr. Speaker, such as jobs linked to the aviation fuel suppliers, construction companies that build additional facilities, and manufacture goods that will be sold at the airport, and a wide range of other activities in the business services sector.
Minister George urged all Dominicans to take ownership of this project and position themselves to benefit from this investment.
I want to urge all Dominicans to take ownership of our international airport. Every single one of us will stand to benefit from the construction of the airport. $75 million in this budget is allocated to continue our vision to develop our international airport. That's progress, Mr. Speaker, and I want to urge the youth in particular to position yourself to take advantage of the opportunities that this international airport will provide.
The international airport is being financed through the Citizenship by Investment program. Minister George made an appeal to all citizens to take ownership of Dominica's CBI program.
I also want Dominicans to take ownership of our CBI program. Our CBI has been a very useful funding mechanism for many small economies like us. Just look around, Mr. Speaker. Thousands of Dominicans now own homes through CBI. Hundreds of students have earned degrees because of CBI. A majority of our public sector investment projects, and now our international airport is funded by CBI, Mr. Speaker. We have settled medical bills for thousands of Dominicans with the use of CBI. So the CBI mechanism can be considered a lifeline for us here in Dominica, especially during these pandemic times. And anyone who cares about people and about Dominica will defend our CBI at every opportunity they get, Mr. Speaker. And I also want to put on record my commendations to MMC, our airport developer. MMC has been a very reliant and dependable partner in our development.
Government has acquired all the lands required for the international airport, and impacted residents are being relocated. The lab for materials testing for the airport is now 70% complete. The government of Dominica, in its quest to create a dynamic Dominica, is committed to the digitalization of the economy. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit is of the view that in today's interconnected world, digitalization and technology are the bride to the future. Prime Minister Skerrit says a modern, resilient and sustainable dynamic economy must be supported by technology. The Prime Minister says to continue on the journey to digitize the economy over the medium term, investments will be focused on creating a modern ICT system with island-wide coverage that allows integration of ICT in education, business development, transportation and homes that can facilitate remote work, remote learning and access for citizens to engage in a range of activities.
Mr. Speaker, some of the important programs planned for this fiscal year include the procurement of 8,000 tablets for primary school students, the conduct of a feasibility study for a new National Health Management Information System. This system would provide efficient and effective service in the health sector, as well as evidence-based information for decision-making, and the establishment of a Computer Emergency Response Team, CERT, in order to ensure that the information systems are safe against any cyber threat or attack. Importantly, laws and policies that cover e-transactions and digital signatures will be reviewed and updated to ensure that online transactions are protected by law.
Prime Minister Skerrit says the project will also make provision for digital skills development by building the capacity of micro, small and medium-sized enterprises throughout the island.
It is anticipated that when trained, entrepreneurs will be able to effectively promote, market and sell their products and services on various digital platforms, which will no doubt generate business and foreign exchange. During the month of September 2021, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, in collaboration with this government, will introduce in Dominica the digital EC currency, commonly known as Dcash. The introduction of Dcash will facilitate the reduction in physical cash transactions and foster economic growth, resilience, and the competitiveness of Dominica. Local businesses such as restaurants, bars, taxis, for example, will be able to accept payments with their smartphones.
The finance minister says that government is aware that some individuals are not in possession of bank cards, while many small businesses are of the view that point-of-sale systems are too expensive. Prime Minister Skerrit says all of these issues will be dealt with by using Dcash.
These EC payments and transfers can be effected in person by simply scanning a code on the receiver's smart device and or remotely by having the payer enter the receiver's unique ID and inserting the amount we paid and clicking send. Dcash is legal and secure and offers a safer, faster and cheaper way to conduct business. Of course, Mr. Speaker, more information will be given to the public during the coming months. But this is going to be an important opportunity for a number of the small and micro businesses across Dominica.
The Ministry of Public Works and the Digital Economy is allocated $74.3 million of the total budget. You're watching National Focus. More when we return.
This is CARICOM Secretary General Erwin LaRocque. I took the jab, the COVID-19 vaccine. I'm encouraging you, my brothers and sisters, to join me. Take the jab and observe the protocols. We're saving lives and jobs.
Raise your voices high.
Welcome back. Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Wellness and New Health Investment, Honorable Kent Edwards, says Dominica can boast of having one of the best primary healthcare systems in the Caribbean region. Over the years, the Dominica Labour Party government has invested in the health of its citizens by constructing smart health and wellness centers, as well as upgrading the equipment used to diagnose illnesses.
And in that regard, Mr. Speaker, 12 new health centers were constructed, and we already have 6 commissioned, and they were named after stalwarts in medical care in the communities. The first, we have the Esprit Murphy Wellness Center in Mahu, the Olivia Douglas Wellness Center. Incidentally, she is the mother of Honorable Ian Douglas in Georgetown, Portsmouth, the Maria Moses Health and Wellness Center, the Stella LeBlanc Wellness Center in Vickers, the Imelda James Wellness Center in Wesley, and the Doris Elfrida Musgrave Wellness Center in Marigot. And contracts were awarded to 2 local contractors to do the cabinets and other areas in these health centers, Mr. Speaker.
New health and wellness centers in Penville, Collioure, Newtown and Soufriere are completed and will be commissioned soon. With the construction of these health and wellness facilities, rehabilitation work was also being done on several health centers across the island, which was damaged by Hurricane Maria.
After the devastation of Hurricane Maria, health centers also suffered damage, and extensive damage was done to several health centers. But the Ministry of Health has taken a decision to repair the most severe first. And in this regard, priority was given to those that were severely damaged. And works will commence in Grand Fond Health Center very soon. And there is also works going on at the Salisbury and Saint-Sauveur Health Centers as we speak, Mr. Speaker.
The Parliamentary Secretary says while the infrastructure is important for the well-being of all, the human resource is a key element of proper health care. He says human resource is very high on the cards for the Ministry of Health, Wellness and New Health Investment.
Staff training has been ongoing, but because of the fact that they had to be trained overseas, and our relationship with the People's Republic of China and the Republic of Cuba, they assisted us. And 4 specialist consultants in the areas of oncology, cardiology, urology, ophthalmology were sent to Dominica, Mr. Speaker, from these countries. And these specialists provided guidance and supervision to medical officers who are completed specialists in specialization in cardiology, urology, and oncology. These are local people, and these people, the Cubans stayed in Dominica and the Chinese, so they could initiate them and they could have the interns guide them along, and then when they get the feel of the work, they could have leave, and that was done, Mr. Speaker.
17 community health aides were employed to ensure the delivery of primary health care is timely, especially for senior citizens.
In this regard, 17 community health aides completed training on April 25, 2021, and they all have since been employed in the system. And this community health aides are what we call our foot soldiers. These are the people who go out to the communities. They go out to the homes. They talk to the people. They look at the back to see if they have any backyard gardening. They encourage them to have backyard gardening. They encourage them to take their medication on time, because the elderly sometimes they mix the medication. These people look at it and they tell them what to do, because you find sometimes the elderly live alone. And these are the people who go out and make sure that what is done at the health center is continued at home. And this family health is very important.
Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance, Honorable Gregory Rivera, calls on Dominicans to take ownership of the Citizenship by Investment program. Minister Rivera says the Dominica Labour Party government has been prudent with the management of funds from the program and has used this source of income to enhance national development.
Mr. Speaker, just imagine 58% or $253.3 million of our capital budget will be funded with proceeds of the CBI, Mr. Speaker. Over 50% will be funded with proceeds from the CBI. And very importantly, Mr. Speaker, of that 253.3 million, 75 million, Mr. Speaker, will go towards the Dominica International Airport, Mr. Speaker. And members of this Honorable House, fellow citizens, whether you like it or not, I firmly believe that the airport is a done deal.
One of the projects being financed by the Citizenship by Investment program is the construction of the international airport. Minister Rivera says the CBI program is not only financing this project, but many other projects across the island.
Mr. Speaker, this airport is going to be built with our own money. And that is important. The same CBI that we are talking about. The same instrument or the same financial instrument that we use to build houses in Bellevue, build houses in Georgetown, to build houses in La Plaine and Grand Forks. The same instrument, Mr. Speaker, we will use it. The same instrument that we use to build health centers all over 12 health centers, Mr. Speaker, all over the country, we will use that instrument. The same instrument that we use to fix up Roseau. Make sure Roseau looking good and nice, and people want to come to, everybody wants to come to Roseau now, Mr. Speaker. Basketball rolling in the night.
Minister for Health, Wellness and New Health Investment, Honorable Dr. Irvin McIntyre, is encouraging the public to wear masks at all times and continue to wash and sanitize hands regularly. The Minister of Health is advising all to get vaccinated to join the fight against COVID-19. As at Monday, August 9, Dominica recorded 209 active COVID-19 cases.
We are therefore again appealing to the public to participate in the vaccination program. It still serves as one of our major defenses against the COVID-19 virus.
Minister McIntyre says in light of the increased demand for testing, the ministry has increased its capacity for testing.
A new testing center has been set up at the Players Pavilion at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium. The public can access the center through the southern gate, which is adjacent to the judicial building at the junction of Bath Road and Cock Street. Testing is also available at all type-free health centers in every health district, and efforts are being made to expand testing in other health centers as well.
Anyone experiencing flu-like symptoms should call the hotline at 448-2151, 448-2153, 448-2156, 611-4325, or 1-800-219. And now your weather update. A rain band associated with now Tropical Storm Fred, which formed near Puerto Rico last night, is expected to move across the island chain during the morning period. An increase in cloudiness with scattered showers and a chance of isolated thunderstorms are expected across the area during the period. Tropical Storm Fred poses no direct threat to Dominica. People in areas prone to flooding, landslides, and falling rocks should remain vigilant during the morning. However, by this afternoon, a high-pressure system is expected to become dominant, resulting in a reduction in shower activity. Thereafter, on Friday, a tropical wave is expected to generate showers and possible thunderstorms across the area. Meanwhile, another tropical wave in the eastern Atlantic is being monitored for further development and is expected to affect the island from overnight Saturday into Sunday. Moderate seas are anticipated during the next 24 hours with waves down to 7 feet. Small craft operators and sea bathers, particularly on the East Coast, should exercise some caution. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, as well as on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here in the GIS News Production team, I'm Shakira Peer. Thanks for watching and stay safe.